The Stalker. Some people think it's an alien. Others say it's a ghost or just a plain myth. For certain though, everyone can agree it is very dangerous and fucking terrifying. My name is John, and I have been working on documenting all sorts of info about this creature, just in case anyone absolutely needs this information. And also because I am very interested in this stuff. But anyways, I hope all who reads this to be safe. You never know what's lurking out there. I mean, seriously, my dad turned out to be associated in a drug cartel, so stay safe. 1932. The first documented sighting was on February 29th, 1932, near Canyon, Texas, a very rural area. It's like your typical one-stop light town, a couple deputies, a school with all grades in it, and that classic barber shop on the corner. It was a Monday, and all of the kids were getting out of school, just that it was on a leap day. The crowd of parents were lined up waiting to pick up their kids, just like every other day of the week. Nothing really happened that day, except an unusual sighting. The townspeople stated that they saw a figure standing near the school, but not by the group of parents, kind of far in the distance. Any other person would think it was just another civilian minding his own business. But remember, this was a very small town, and everyone knew each other. They have never seen this person before. The people who saw it could only make out a very little description of what it looked like. It appeared to be a man in a large trench coat and a fedora hat. But that wasn't all. They can barely make out the face. But what they can tell is that it appeared to have an abnormally large smile smeared across its face and a hat covering the rest of its head. Then the man walked behind a tree and apparently disappeared. No one has ever seen that man, or should I say that thing, in that town ever again. It did make headlines for the locals. It wasn't big enough of a story to make the news spread any farther. It may have been recorded for the first time on that day, but some people have noticed the being hiding in the background of some photos far older than that. The Civil War. Now, that was just the first documented sighting. The very first sighting took place on March 18, 1864, at the Battle of Loretto during the Civil War. It was in Texas again. The strange part was that it was on another leap year. Many soldiers saw it this time, as it was wearing an old trench coat like in its other sightings. Some men even stopped fighting, just from the horror they saw staring back at them. When they would describe the face, they say it was pale with black hair growing down to its blank wide eyes, and scars going across them. The only unforgettable part was the smile. Wide open with its teeth just frozen, staring right at you. Then, when the soldiers blinked or rubbed their eyes, it was gone. It was a barely known story the soldiers told through generations. You can ask anyone and I'm sure no one would know what you're talking about. But for those who have heard, they could tell you just how real they believe it is. The many people that saw this thing on that field had a bunch of names for it, like the Watcher, or Lurker, or even the Boogeyman. But what was most common was the Stalker, the Leap Year Stalker. That's when it got its name. Kings, Texas. Now all of the Stalker's sightings appeared to always happen on a leap year, which was pretty strange. It was also only appearing in Texas. The most appearances it had was in Kings, Texas, a very small town far off of Houston. Out of all of the locations that the Stalker was seen, This town had the most missing people it's seen in years, all on leap year. That was a lot for a small town like this. But strangely, no one seemed to care. It was like nothing happened. So there was no recorded documentation that the monster has ever popped up in that town. You want to know how I know? Because I used to live there. The mayor just wants to keep everyone quiet. I never saw the strange creature myself, but I know people who have. One of them I never heard from again the night after they told me about seeing it as they were strolling next to a small forest. They said it was just staring at them, stalking them, as binoculars hung down from its chest. Now, all that happened in 2008. I moved out last year in 2011. I lost many connections with people that live there, so I sometimes visit to get information. Well, I still live in Texas, Houston, Texas, but there's only been very few sightings here. Apparently all of the sightings stopped appearing the year after 2000, which happened to be the biggest year yet. Then it started to only appear in Kings. It was there before. It's just that for some reason, this is its staying place, I guess. I don't know why, but it is. 2000. This was the biggest event yet. It was on February 29th again, and it took place in Galveston Island. They say the whole island is haunted, but no one has ever seen something like this here before. At 12 when Leap Day started, a murder occurred. At first, they thought it was just a random death that happens every day. But then, 1 hit, another murder. 2, another one. For every hour, there was 1 death. It happened the whole day in different locations on the island, except for the one at 7 p.m. There was 1 survivor. He went to the cops and stated he saw a man with a deathly smile and a trench coat trying to kill him. Every time he blinked, the thing was in another spot, not knowing where he'll be next. 3 weeks later, no one heard from him again. The Stalker. I personally think he's just a demon or something. But who knows? I don't know its purpose or anything. What if he's just looking for friends? I doubt that. Also, I did leave out that there was mention of him being spotted during 9/11 at the Twin Towers. I highly doubt that because there were just so many people there. Anyone could have looked similar. Well, hey, what if he was really a myth? Then I wrote this for nothing. That really sucked. But what I didn't say is that when I was in Kings, my mother left to pick up something from the store and never came back. Now I can't tell if she actually left or got killed. 'Cause guess what day it was? Leap Day.